I don't think that being apart from Joe was contributing to that. Honestly, that episode itself, it really came from the challenge. This I've had things like this happen to me in other sports, right? Like I did cross country in high school, and during races when there's all this stimulus, and if I wasn't running as fast as I wanted to be, and people are screaming and yelling, there's so much going on, I'd get to the end of the race and I would start screaming, just like we saw happen on Survivor episode 5, where this is a thing that's happened to me before. So it comes from that feeling, that failure, that over and over. I was doing this challenge where I didn't have a chance to reset between. Like I have these strategies I use to make this not happen, but I couldn't apply those because it was just kind of an endless, you fail, you have to keep going, you have to keep going. And that was really tough. So I wasn't really thinking about like, oh, Joe's not with me, I'm nervous for that. No, it was more just like, I'm locked into this game mode and I'm a competitor and I'm not doing what I want to be doing. And I can't get my brain out of this cycle.
And Joe, what was the experience in that immunity challenge for you? Because your team won that challenge, didn't it?
Right. Yeah. Finally. Yes. We were struggling a little bit there. It was a tough swap. But yeah, for me, and just to be clear, like it's one of those things where the bond, why Eva and I's bond is so important to me and meaningful is this. With the swap and being separated from her and watching her was never about not, especially with the swap. It wasn't that I think she couldn't do it or that she would needed anything. Just as a friend, I go, I don't know anybody well enough yet to trust that they're going to be this invested in that. I meant what I said. I would go home. I meant it. I literally meant that. How many people would really do that? And I just want that same brotherly, figure over there. And I'm not saying that any of them wouldn't, but I'm like, I'm going to go home for this. So my separation from her was more like, I hope someone gives her that same love and respect that she deserves if something happens. And then watching it was more about, I know she's going to do this challenge, but it's like, I just want to be there afterwards to give her a hug. That was like my thinking during. It wasn't like, oh, she needs me. It was like, I know she's got this because she's so competitive, but I don't enjoy seeing someone I care about struggle either. Just like she doesn't like to see me struggle when I would do challenges either,
Yeah, for me, I mean, I wasn't really thinking about the like, oh, these other people are watching or America's watching and I'm being a failure. No, it was like, I'm failing for myself. I'm letting down my team. I play team sports. I'm a hockey player. Like when I make a mistake and it affects my team, that's when I feel the worst. And so I was like, what really sucked is that it's like every person on your team has to land one of these balls, and I was the one who was holding it up. Like everyone else did it without an issue, and I'm stuck here. And if I don't do this, we're going to tribal, and that's my fault. And so that was what was really tough there. Like, wasn't thinking about the other tribes watching or all these other people. Like, no, it's really just internally, like, what am I doing that is letting down the people that I care about here? And then to the follow-up of like, oh, what are people going to think seeing me and Joe together? That I wasn't worried in the moment at all about like how that would affect anything, right? Like I'm just trying to get out of the space that my brain is in where I'm all ungrounded. And so then when it did come down and I have the chance to talk about this, I think that wasn't really shown, but I did mention that it's like, yeah, like I'm sure you see this between Joe and I, but we're still playing this game. Like we're competitors, and so it changed the way we had to play the game for sure. We had to create this strong alliance so we could insulate ourselves, because we knew that two strong allies with nobody else is going to be chopped off immediately. So it really definitely, you had to take some considerations after the fact, but while it was all going on, I had no thoughts about like what this is going to affect in the social game or strategic game of Survivor. I just wanted to win this challenge.
Yeah, because you're so locked in on the task, it's really, you can't think of anything else. And not even like you don't even want to, you're just locked in there.
Yeah.
So what was it for you?
Yeah, it was, Kelly was the same. It's just that in the moment, I think that people kind of analyze certain movements we might have. And I just want to be clear too, is that we, as it's happening, it's more about, I'm not even comprehending the scale of what this is. And in my brain, I'm like, maybe this doesn't even get shown. I had no idea how this all works. So in the moment, it's like, there's so many things that you're like, yep, that was rough, but we've almost, it was like our plan. It was like, okay, cool. If this happens, do this. We did that. Next. Because the game is so relentless. I'm not diminishing it. It just in the moment, real time, you're like, yep, okay, cool. That was, wild, but you did it. Cool. High five. And then like, what are we doing tomorrow? And then as it settles, you're like, oh wow, like that was cool. Like I needed that aftermath to feel, to like, you know what? Like we both did something pretty awesome. That's cool. Because in the moment it was like boom, boom, boom. So I did not at all once think about it. And I even said it, even if it was going to be viewed a certain way, it was like, how awesome that this person gave me this gift of sharing something so intimate. And I was going to do anything in my power. Like I would never betray that. It was just too intimate of a story to like, it was her real her. Like that's such a blessing to get that from someone. You don't normally get that in life. People don't normally share that with you in life. You're rare. It's rare if you get that. So I took that to heart. Like that's what it meant to me. I will always appreciate that.
Honestly, I got used to it really quickly. Like the weird thing for me was not acknowledging people that are around me. Like you can't just be like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like you have to pretend they're not there, which is tough because I like talking to people. And so I felt very rude, but you get past that and you're like, they're doing their job. And you kind of learn the ways to accommodate them, that you're like, okay, if I'm going to walk this way, I'll walk slowly at first so they can get in position because I don't want to make them run. Like they really are just part of your environment, and you have like a weird relationship with them where you recognize these people but you don't know their names, and you go to your confessionals and they're there setting up the lighting and you get to like share a smile with them. But you get really very quickly, you acclimate, just like you acclimate to the jungle and you acclimate to these new people that you've never met that now are your like the only people you have to interact with out there. It's very strange how quickly your brain can just be like, okay, new thing, this is what I'm doing now, and it's normal.
Same. It was kind of right away because like with sports for me, my background being sports, you focus on the task right away. But it is hard because you develop these relationships with all the people behind the camera that it's hard. I'm kind of a clown, so it's hard for me not to like do acknowledge them. So that was hard, but it's also that like, I think it's your motivations going in. So I think for people like myself and Eva, when it wasn't about all that and you don't know what to expect, you're also not playing to it. You're just, all of a sudden it's like, we're so driven in our goals, type A, and like focused on winning, that there's an element that you're like, yeah, this is great, but what about this? And the game is so up tempo for me. It was very like, they do such a great job of also blending in. There's no hair and makeup. You're just
maybe for Jeff.
Yeah, very for Jeff. But for us, it was like, okay. And to our detriment, it's like, hey, you guys got to clean up those conversations. We're like, oh man, because we're being authentic. So to me, it went away really quickly because I'm just being authentic with my friends.
Yeah, that compression has always been something since I was a little kid that has helped me stay grounded. And so having that squeeze, like telling Joe to take my hands, him hugging me very tight, like that just helps kind of bring me back to reality. Like I like can visually picture, right, that it's like my brain is all out here, and by squeezing me in, you're like holding all that stuff inside, and I get to just kind of come down again. And so that's kind of just how that felt for me, and just having this closeness with someone that I did truly trust, which is hard to find in the game of Survivor, where you never know if you can trust someone. They're doing stuff behind your back. But I did truly trust Joe and felt very, very comfortable to be in that position where I'm being so vulnerable and showing that like this is me at my lowest, and you're there to bring me together and hold that in. And it just felt very like warm and like tight, and all this just like, okay, like I'm safe, I'm good, I can be me again, I'm coming down.
Yeah, and for me, it's the best way to describe it is when you've had major loss, or you've had trauma, or if you've had things in your life that are difficult, there's these moments where like your soul with another person, you just naturally, I could feel it. Like when we hugged and she looked at me and I looked at her, like the realest thing I can say is how I've never felt so connected to someone that was going through something with two people just trying to navigate through it together with no agenda. And it's those moments where sometimes you just put your arm around a friend that's at a funeral and you lean in and there's nothing more to say, but you can feel each other's breath and pattern. And there's just this moment where you exchange growth together. And that's the best way for me to describe it. It was just this exchange between two souls where you're like, she was willing to show it to me and mine wanted to make it better. And just like I would with the most passionate people I love in my life is when they're willing to just open their heart to you, someone that's crying or someone that's going through something on that stage, how do you not just want to wrap that, and make it part of your own? Like that was the most powerful moment for me. It was just like our rhythm was synced and it was truly just happened. It wasn't like we're going to do this. It's just like, I would do it tomorrow. Same way. Like it just, like the way to describe it is healing. It healed me too.
Yeah, I didn't know that he had never cried before. And I think everybody got like swept up in the emotionality of the moment. Cause we had this whole big moment coming together and then there was no like break and be like, okay, everyone like take a breather. Let's get on the mats now. Like, no, it was like, okay, immediately you're on the mats and now I get to speak about this. So it's just from boom, 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 like all of these things happening one after another, like everybody's boiling high on emotion then. And seeing that come out in Jeff, like as he related it to his own life, was just so amazing to realize like, okay, like that's when it hit that people are going to be impacted by this. Like if Jeff is tearing up, like the world, when they see this, they're going to be impacted as well, which was just such a wild thing to realize while I'm out on an island so far away from all of civilization.
Yeah, I agree. It was when I think for me, and I said this before, it's like Clint Eastwood, there's certain actors that you see in TV that are so like all the time that Jeff is so rock solid that in the moment it was like, but I was more like, dang it, like I'm barely holding it together. And then seeing him like just was like, like, like it made it so much more like, wow, like that was. And when I say he doesn't break is Jeff has seen a lot of crazy stuff on the show and you just see him like, crazy where I'm like, whoa. And he just kind of is so to see him, and I don't want to say break, for him to experience it with us, to let himself experience it with us was like, I'm so grateful that he did that because it was also like, we're looking to him too. Like he's dad out there, like he's my dad out there too. And seeing him go through it, I'm like, okay, cool. Like everybody's on the same page. That was pretty awesome. Cool. And then we moved on. So it was also like, you don't want your dad and that family hug to be like, so he showed that like super deep connection. I was like, awesome. Like, this is awesome. So I was really excited that he did that. We had no idea it was going to be this, but it was cool.
It was really cool. And as a fan of the show myself, it was really sweet and a tender thing to see. So I'm glad it happened.